Hello people, I just wanted to talk a little bit about myself in regard to fitting in, and also to talk about people who are essentially not happy in the body they were born in, and so they want to change their body so that they get treated the way that their mind thinks more, and that would be a large percentage of the transgender, transsexual community. That would also be a large percentage of the transvestite community, and of course that would be a large percentage of intersexed people like myself. As much as the word intersex brings up pictures that do not look at all like me, but the fact is that I am intersexed from my chromosomes and from my hormone imbalance. I think if I wasn't hormonally imbalanced and if I was just XXY and there was no other characteristics to having XXY chromosomes, then I could call myself a normal person. I couldn't personally ever call myself a normal male because I'm hormonally imbalanced. But I understand the people, especially the transgender, transsexual community, which I've spent a lot of time with now on the internet. I mean, there's one person I know here who was born a male, got married and had a child or children, I'm not sure how many, and that person, without saying he or she, that person now wears dresses and makeup and wants to get a sex change. I understand why people want to get a sex change, because simply there is only two choices on the menu of life, and that is male or female, or female or male, whatever one you want to go first. Personally, I think either male or female can go first in a sentence, because really there are no males and females in this world anymore. We have to come to a point of stopping to use terminology that just simply doesn't suit our society. Keeping people in small boxes of male category and female category is too restrictive, because if you're a male, you're not supposed to be wearing female clothes. If you're female, it's okay, you can wear male clothes, so it doesn't one way or the other, it's different. But if you what a lot of human beings get confused with is when somebody like myself talks about intersex or transgender, transsexual stuff, they immediately think of homosexuality, because it's again the same word in there. Sex comes in there, not gender, so that's why people like to call themselves transgender. Although I'm not totally clear, obviously, as you get from my sentences here, I'm not totally clear still on this business of transgender and transsexual. What is the real difference there? As far as I can gather, transsexual is on the physical level and transgender is on a mental level. So then what is the story with people who are physically and mentally trans? And trans is what? Moving between something to another thing. Personally, I'm not moving from one thing to another, so I'm not trans, I'm not transsexual, I'm not transgender. But I would be intergender and I'd be intersex, if I'm right on the definitions of intergender and intersex and transgender and transsexual. So I am very much a supporter and an understander of anybody who's basically wanting to, they ultimately want to be themselves, but they know they just for a start have to fit in. And I'd love to hear some stories of people who have done things, drastic things or little things, just to be able to fit in. Nobody wants to stick out like a sore thumb. Nobody wants to stick out like a black sheep. Nobody wants to stand out in line and say, hey, look at me, I'm different. I mean, nobody in this community of intersex and trans and transvestites and all sorts of people, we don't want to stick out, we want to fit in. It's the cool people in the world that want to stick out. So yeah, just tell me your stories, people, of how you have changed yourself to fit into society, and I'm obviously interested in all sorts of stories. So, you know, people who have done stuff to themselves that they didn't want to do to themselves, but felt they needed to do it to fit in. I'd love to know stories on that level. And then I'd like to know stories on the level of people who are extremely happy with the changes they've made to their body and their minds and other people's minds, and have become the look of how they feel. And for me, I will never look the way I feel, because I will always look, if the world continues the way it does with just male and female categories, I will always look male, where in fact I'm not male and I'm not female, and I'm personally trying to get through to the world, could we just leave male and female out of it? Probably not, because lots of languages are based on male and female. You know, the verbs and the words are masculine or feminine, and it's going to take a lot of sieving and, you know, filtering, so that we can actually suit our people that we live with on this planet. We'll be able to suit them with the right terminology, because these days the right terminology is not available. So it's actually probably up to us to invent new categories, and or else just get to an overall global feeling that we're all people and we're all different, and we're never going to, no male or female or intersex is ever going to fit into the categorizations and the labels that society continues to label us as. And as many know out there, many of you know, you're misdiagnosed by doctors, by specialists, misdiagnosed. So I'm not saying that I'm fully there yet for understanding and being expert in all sorts of fields, but I'm certainly an expert in certain fields, and I hope to continue to talk to the world, and get them to just think about the structures of male and female, and how do you think all the people in the world who don't fit into those categories so simplistically, how, I've forgotten the question now, oh god, you know, yeah, the people who don't fit into those categories, how do you think those people feel having to change certain parts of themselves just simply to fit into the box better than we are when we're just being ourselves, if you can get that. Okay, ciao, bye, peace, party, love life, everything. Goodbye, ciao.